All right. Let's do a little stream action.
Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing good, man. A little off, a little under the weather, but I'm doing good.
I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
I just turned you down a little bit. I don't know if I had you too loud, or you guys might have to tell me if it's just me or if Will's
My mic
loud.
might have been too close to my face.
So my camera's been moved somehow. What's going on here? What's going on about it?
My OBS is not reacting. It's being weird.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining our Friday stream. It's a little coffee talk as we chat about the week. What's in the news? What's going on? What's in the news? What we care about game-wise, I guess. What's in the news? And it's a nice little half-hour time of camaraderie before we break for the weekend. So,
That's right.
hello. Will, I literally just walked in the door from a meeting. Haven't had my coffee yet or breakfast. So I'm feeling a little surly this morning.
Okay. Well, yeah, understood. I haven't had my coffee either, but it's only because we don't have any.
Oh,
Predicament.
that
I
is.
also just realized I think I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore the last time we sat down. So just so everybody knows it's clean. It's, end of laundry cycle, start of laundry cycle. Don't judge me.
Here's the deal. I don't know if this is a guy thing or if this is just people in general, but guys, we have our shirts we really like. And I don't know about you, Will, but I like to just cycle through those like 3 shirts, Yep. Sometimes Joy's like, hey, is it time we get a new shirt? We're seeing our family again, and they're going to see you for 3 days. So maybe they can see another. They can know you wear something else, So Will's low now. Okay, I just turned him back up, by the way. So let me know if it's good, because I think it was just loud for my ears. But yeah, so when I go to meetings, though, I'm like, who's going to be there, and what's the last shirt they saw me wear is typically what I think about. So
yeah, I'm the same way, though. I have like favorites that I'll definitely just keep cycling through.
Okay, we got our, this is a moment. We just got our Glimma lore in the stream, in the chat. This is a big moment. He says, the deep lore is it was Glimma a century ago before my family moved to the U.S. It is, this hurts. This hurts to read this.
Well, wait, keep going.
It is pronounced glim, as in slim, by 90% of everyone who sees it. Ooh, okay. I like how this story is taking me through all the twists and turns. I went from neither of us was right to Will was right to my favorite ending, which is, and Blake pronounces it correctly as glimmy. So, how about that?
I'm going to put a lot of stock in those quotation marks. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, that was purely to keep you from breaking down.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
McGurb, same, no shame, and a capsule wardrobe. That's right. Ooh. Barb says same for me. So I love it. Good stuff.
I've never heard that phrase before, but I like it.
I like it too. Yeah. There's good sayings that people say that you instantly know like what they're talking about. I think that's a good example of that.
Yeah, I can't wait till we butcher it 2 weeks from now.
Yeah, we'll just casually try to throw it in there. And it's a little bit of a capsule wardrobe. So, what's funny though is Joy got onto me because we were having a little bit of a tiff, and I said, hey, well, I'm going to give you an olive branch and like acquiesce, whatever. Yeah. So I said olive branch like twice, and she was like, why do you like, are you just saying that to like annoy me? And I was like, no. And she was like, that's not a thing. And I was like, olive branch? She's like, that's not a thing. And I was like, that is a thing. All that to say, I can see myself using capsule wardrobe and someone calling me out on it, being like, hey, is that something? Like, did you just make that up? So,
Will
is still low.
That it was indeed a thing?
I did, but I didn't do it in that moment because
smart.
I've been married 10 years. So, Okay, I turned Will up even more. Back to where he was originally. So
okay. You can also move my mic back closer to me if that would help.
I will say,
leave it for now.
Well, I will say, you being back at what you were before, you're still not as loud as when I first turned on the stream. So
I'm moving it closer.
yeah, okay. Anyway,
Anyways,
anywho, in the news this week,
in the news,
World of Warcraft Cataclysm dropped, and Season of Discovery Raiders dropped to under 100K for the first time since Classic SOD released.
interesting. So how are they? So that's not the total population, but just population that raids.
Just the Raiders. Yeah, just the Raiders. They
capturing
crawl Warcraft logs. So so it's number of characters. So it could, for people who raid on multiple characters, they're going to get counted multiple times.
Right.
And then naturally it doesn't count people who don't raid or didn't raid for the week. But from its peak at 400K in January.
wow.
So down to a quarter of the population.
I wonder why people just did everything and now they're just waiting for the next patch, I guess.
I think so, yeah. I think that's what's going on. So also going on this week, I got my Star Wars one shot tonight.
Yeah.
Not ready for it. It's tonight.
Nice. I read your, I don't know, it's a little blurb.
Little synopsis.
Really cool.
Yeah.
Sounded really interesting. I'm excited to hear how it goes.
Yeah, I think I got most of the story worked out. I just got to work out like the mechanics now of like classes and like battle map stuff like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, fortunately, everyone who's playing has played D&D, so I think that's
nice.
That's helpful. So anyway,
you know how long you guys are gonna go for?
We told people 6 hours. Okay. So start at 6:30 till 12:30, and I feel after our 7.5 hour shenanigans, I feel pretty confident that I can keep that down to 6. There was a point in our one shot where it was like the 2 hour mark and we were like still like towards the start where I was like, oh, we should probably. So I think I have a better finger on the pulse this time around. So
yeah, I feel like that's always how it goes with like a new group though.
Yeah.
Barb, yeah, man, I'm excited.
Barb said, what system are you going to use? It's just going to be a repurposed 5e. And there might already be something out there for it. I'm kind of obnoxious in that I like to kind of create things myself. So what I will probably do is take I'll take like a handful of classes and just port them to a new name. So like barbarian, I came up with like a heavy gunner class that is like a barbarian, basically. So like functionally many of the mechanics will be the same. They'll just have different Star Wars. It's like a Star Wars sleeve put over it, I guess. So that's kind of the idea. We'll see how it plays out though. So
yeah, man, you'll have to let us know how it went.
Yeah. Oh, Euroclidona says there is a Star Wars 5e. I should just take a look at that. It might just save me. It might just save me a bunch of time. So anyway. Critical Role, we're getting some really some meaty conversations, some really good player acting that I think is really intriguing.
Yeah, I think you and I both only saw the first half last night, but it was really good. Just right off the bat, some amazing RP. Obviously won't spoil anything. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the second half.
Something we didn't mention in our deep dive episode was, and Barb mentioned this in our Campaign 3 discussion channel on the Discord, linking a Tumblr post. Something we didn't pick up on, or maybe you picked up on it, we just didn't remember to talk about it, but Chetney having a knack for testing people, and in giving Laudna the dagger, which for Laudna it was always about Orm's sword.
Right.
Laudna then revealing that, and this Tumblr post was basically saying that this was a very clever test by Chetney to see what Laudna really was interested in.
Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, I could definitely see that. Travis is the best, man.
He is.
He had some great moments last night too.
And we didn't mention the echo effect that Matt did.
Oh yeah,
with Delilah with Laudna.
That was really cool.
Yeah,
especially just kind of improv like that.
Yeah,
I mean, I assume maybe he had that in his back pocket, but
I would think it's one of those. I mean, I don't know. I would think it's one of those things where it's kind of like a parlor trick in the sense of like, if you practice something like that enough, you can like pick up like where a sentence is going, kind of thing. But I don't know. I mean, who knows? So
yeah, reminded me. It's kind of like the sad dark turn of the fun messages at the start of the campaign. You know, where like the whole cast was getting in on it. Those were the days.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you playing these days?
Nothing.
Nice.
Sadly. I wanna get ready for the Elden Ring DLC. Just because I don't like. I feel like I need to like grease the wheels before I just jump back in.
Do a
I
little
don't remember,
replay.
like anything about my character or anything.
Does Elden Ring have a New Game Plus?
Mm-hmm.
I love those kind of modes.
Yeah, bro, you got to play it, man. Not a better time than now. To, get ready for the DLC.
I feel like I just can't. I put a lot of emotional energy into preparing for a game like that, in the sense of like, I have to like mentally prepare myself to devote myself to it.
I get it. I get it. I'm the same way with TV shows too. Like I've got certain TV shows that, like The Wire, for example, like largely a lot of people's best show of all time. Never seen it, but I'm like kind of saving it. I don't know when, but I know the moment will be right at some point in my life, and I'm just like gonna binge it at that point.
Yeah, that's pretty
But
much.
Anyways, you should just ignore that and start playing Elden Ring because it's so good, man.
Yeah, I mean, I own it, so I mean, you should check out Cyberpunk. By the way, I hear good things about that currently. I know you own that game.
There's so many games like on my theoretical list that I want to play. I keep forgetting about Cyberpunk. I think the next thing I'm gonna try though is, well, probably Hades 2, but
yeah, and Hades 2 is in early access, but you can
yeah, but it's pretty much like all it's missing, I think, is that final layer of like polish. It's pretty much complete, and I didn't know this, but when I saw that, I looked into it, and they did the same thing for the first one. So like,
oh,
this is
I didn't
just
know
kind of
that.
what they do. Yeah. So it's pretty much the full game.
And the Hades developer wouldn't do this, but in general, I sort of dislike today's game economy of like early access and stuff like that. And again, no shade to Hades because that developer would not do that, use it that way. But I spent a lot of time talking to Joy about some of these like really I can't think of the word, like hot button issues in the game world. One of them being early access, another one being I'm trying to think of the company that did this, Ubisoft, I think. Like just removing games from people's, like removing licenses from people's accounts.
Yeah.
Because they're like not going to support the game anymore or something like that. So a game that you paid for maybe years ago, no longer being able to play it. And in a way, I kind of feel a little similarly about Overwatch too, by the way, because isn't that what happened with Overwatch 1? Like, wasn't that a paid game and then they closed down Overwatch 1?
Yeah, you can't play it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's weird, man, that they could just, and not to build in any excuses for Blizzard and Overwatch, because that's not what I'm trying to do, but like that, at least, there was a sequel, so it's like, this is the new version of this game, like we're not supporting that one anymore. I've heard of stories where just like a standalone game that didn't get an update, didn't get a sequel, they just removed from people's libraries for whatever reason, and that's just crazy, like, what if I wanted to play that again?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting world today of like, what do you really own? I know that kind of bleeds into like other discussions of like owning your data, for example. Like, do you really own your data, or does the social media platform that has a terms of use, do they own your data?
Yeah.
And I think, wasn't the writer's strike about like Hollywood companies having like the rights to like your voice and likeness like in perpetuity or something,
Yeah, I
and
think that was part of it.
like that became like a central piece to that whole thing. But yeah, it's kind of I say interesting. Interesting is not really the word I'm thinking. It's actually more like dystopian and sad of like, and you and I both we've talked business before. I mean, I don't know. Is this a wild idea that like you should own what you pay for? Like, I mean, is this an
I
echo
guess,
chamber? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. So
But yeah, good argument for buying physical copies, which I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a physical copy of a game.
yeah, I haven't. Yeah, I haven't bought a physical copy in it's been over a decade easily.
And what's crazy is not that, we need to keep harping on this, but the digitals aren't any cheaper.
Right. Oh, that
Like
was
that should at least be the norm. Like, and it doesn't have to be much, but like, why is it the exact same price? Like, give me $5 off.
I feel like in some situations it's been more actually. Like I think I've seen like maybe not recently, but like when there's been like a digital version and they also throw in like, and you get this cosmetic outfit and it's like $5 more, and it's like, what is going on here? And honestly, I think Blizzard's frankly one of the worst at this, where you have the standard, and like little tiny little standard edition, and then you have like the
Yeah.
whatever version, like the cool edition, and it like throws in like a couple of cosmetics and it's like $30 more, and then it's like the really cool edition and it's got like a mount or what have you. I'm thinking of Diablo, which I'm sure is going to have for the expansion, is going to have like a full game plus cost for just the expansion, which back in the day, even paid DLC was kind of a dirty word, because it was like, I got to pay $10 for, it's like, oh, well, now you're going to pay, $60 to get that stuff. But
Totally. Yeah, I saw.
Go ahead.
Speaking of Ubisoft, they're the ones that do Assassin's Creed, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I saw that they had the like 7 bundles, and it's a single player game.
Yeah.
And a lot of the bundles included like get it 3 days early, which is just kind of weird. Like for a multiplayer game, I get it more because it's like that's a competitive advantage.
Mm-hmm.
For a single player game, it's just like, okay, you're just, forcing this to earn more money.
It's honestly, game sales has become so commoditized where it's like, what are the upsells? And yeah, I mean, frankly, it's really, I think also what bothers me is the lack of justice in the whole conversation. Like I think about Anthem, Anthem being so oversold from like the pre-order position, and it coming out that like what they presented, the actual gameplay being, was not actual gameplay. Like it was doctored and put together, and doctor's maybe not the right word. It was not the version of the game that you would actually play.
Right.
And then when that game died, like the game's dead. Like you don't get that money back, So yeah, I forgot about the Assassin's Creed thing. And I think on that too, another dirty word that gets under my skin is I think one of the packages was like season 1 pass included. And I was like, do we need a season for every game? Like, does every game need a season and like a battle pass? Like, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's why you should support From Software with Elden Ring. Now, actually, their DLC is expensive, but I trust that it's like the size of a whole nother game. Apparently, is this DLC? But yeah, what's the who makes The Witcher?
Project Reddit,
Yeah.
Project Red, CD
Yeah.
Project Red. Excuse me.
They're great too.
I mean,
In
they
terms
have a lot of yes, but I mean, they were in a pretty negative position with Cyberpunk releasing,
true.
when they had withheld information about how that game
True.
performed on certain platforms.
But then they did make it right,
They did.
And then I guess what I should have said was that both of those studios are good about not nickel and diming you.
Yes,
Like you're actually going to get your money's worth for there's not going to
Yes.
be the paid microtransactions and
Right.
yada yada yada.
Because the Witcher expansions were fairly cheap. I think all of them were like $15 or something.
Yeah, I don't know what they were at like release, but I played it. Well, now it's been a few years, but when I played it, it had already been out for a long time. So like I bought the whole thing
Yeah.
for like dirt cheap.
Yeah. Yeah. And to be clear, I don't have any issue with, it's like you said with Elden Ring, I don't have any issue with people charging for DLC or more content. It's kind of like, just to grab another example, it's kind of like the Blizzard effect of like Diablo. It's like when a game gets released and there's content that is, there's like a higher price point with it. Like I think the base Diablo game was 70, but you could do it for 100 or something like that. And then like the actual game isn't in a good position to play. Like people are raving about Diablo right now. Diablo released almost a year ago to the day. So like this like lead up time to being like release ready, but still taking people's money. Like I don't know. I'm not happy about it.
I agree with you, which is why another reason that whenever Silk Song does come out, I'm excited for it because like I love a studio that takes their time to get it right,
Yeah.
Which that game's been delayed so many times, but I have no doubts that when it actually comes out, it's going to be like finished.
You know what it reminds me of is two examples. The Metroid Prime game that I guess was going to be due out sometime in the near future, but last year they totally scrapped it and went back to square one. They were like, it's not how we need it to be. But then also the Daredevil, the Born Again show.
Yeah.
Them basically scrapping all the writers and starting over. Like that's, it's important to get quality right,
Thank goodness. We got to do my boy Charlie Cox justice.
And then the last thing I'll say on this whole topic is Larissa brought it up in chat. This Sky AI voice thing. Have you followed that at all?
Yeah. I mean, loosely, but yeah.
Yeah. So for our listeners, the very basic premise of it is Scarlett Johansson voiced the feminine AI from Her, the movie. Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI, which is ChatGPT, it runs ChatGPT. Before they were releasing Sky, the voice AI, Sam Altman reached out to Scarlett Johansson and said, "Hey, would you consider being the voice for Sky?" Basically, Scarlett Johansson said no. And long story short, when Sky was released, it is. There's been some interesting chatter. I don't know if people are like standing OpenAI or what's happening exactly, but people being like, it doesn't even sound like her. But I think it sounds very similar to her.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Scarlett Johansson is now suing OpenAI. Scarlett Johansson, notably, having sued Disney and won, she's got a pretty good squad of attorneys.
Yeah,
so,
for real.
Anyway.
So yeah, definitely an interesting time we're in with everything AI and what that's going to mean for not only creatives but everyone on the planet. It seems like we need to get these protections in place sooner.
I don't know, man. I mean, yes, I agree with you, but yeah, I don't know. Well, let's go. We're getting towards the end of our stream. Let's go to because I know you gotta get on the road too. And I gotta have my coffee. Let's go to the Pixelbits live stream channel. We had a couple of questions that came in, a few questions that came in. One's from McGurbs. What is your critical McGurbs? He's like, please don't do that. I hate you guys. What is your critical role Roman Empire? What's the aspect of CR that you spend a lot of time thinking about, be it plot points, characters, events, etc.? I think about, and I do this with Brennan and Worlds Beyond. I just think, and it's very timely because we just had this amazing interaction with Laudna and Orem and Imogen. Yeah. I think about those just heavy, incredible RP moments. And I think a lot about how did it, like, kind of the mechanics of it in the sense of, like, how do I recreate that for my table? Like, I think that kind of D&D is sometimes lost in sessions where it's like, yeah, I'm rolling Eldritch Blast, whatever. And like, I feel like that's like the really memorable stuff that people resonate with. So I think about those moments a lot, actually.
Yeah, me too. I mean, that would that would definitely be the type of moment. I'm trying to think of like some specific ones if there's like anything I find myself coming back to. I would say there's nothing really like there's no like singular moment that I focus on as like my Roman Empire, but it's those types of moments, and it's also just like incredible moments where like the dice lines up with the RP. Um,
Yes.
and so like for example, if I'm going on YouTube, one thing I love to go revisit is, and I want to say this without like spoiling it because I know at least you haven't seen it, but there's a moment with Travis in one of the live shows in C1 that is just incredible. And it's at a live show, like so with an audience.
Mhm.
So like all that energy is there as well. I'm sure those of you that seen it are gonna know what I'm talking about, but I love just rewatching that because it's so hype. Um, and yeah, I mean, one of my this is another one you haven't seen, but I love to go back and watch from C2 the tower, the first tower episode. Um, that's one of my favorite moments, like in all the campaigns. So, I'm not just randomly thinking about that on a Thursday type of thing, but like when I think of my Roman Empire moments, that one's definitely up there.
I think related with that, I think of moments where the players were just really um, so invested. I think of the final roll of Calamity and like that outro. I think
Yeah,
of
yeah.
and I'll go ahead and add this one in, but I won't spoil it for people who haven't seen Thursday night's episode. The conversation with Laudna and Imogen and Marisha Ray, like literally in tears. I get chills thinking about it. I mean, I think
Yeah.
these actors are just so, seeing them in the sauce. I'm just like,
Yeah.
yes.
Just
So
deep in it.
yeah,
And
it's special.
all that basically just from equipping a sword,
Yes,
like such
yes,
such a moment that would just get a completely nothing burger in like 90% of campaigns, but like they turn it into that awesome, like juicy storytelling.
yeah. Well said. Film Addict says, "Hey there, folks. Hope you're both doing well. I turned 21 last week, and it's been a tough one.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Film Addict. You both and the community you've built have saved my life and got me through rough times. Sending y'all love from Thailand. Hey, we love you, Film Addict.
Much love.
Yeah, I have nothing clever to say about, life gets easier, but just that, it's all about the community you stick with. So we love you, and I am going to get Thai food soon. So anyway,
Hell yeah. Yeah, I absolutely love this community as well. We are undeserving of it, but I'm so glad that like we've been so lucky to have all of you guys come and hang out in this little corner of the internet.
yeah,
So
good way to put
I
it.
love you guys and thank you guys so much
Mhm.
for hanging out with our awkward friendship.
They're a little bit weird, but all right, Barbast, it's been 1 week since you looked at me. Beacon launched. How are you enjoying it? Is it worth it? I just let's pausing on that first part of the question. I'm switching to Beacon today because I realized I still have a Twitch. I have a paid Twitch subscription to CR, which I forgot. So I'm actually going to unsubscribe that and move it over to Beacon today. How about you though? Are you happy with?
Just for the record, I signed up, and so you're welcome to just use mine if you want.
That's very nice. I figured since I'm already paying, I just thought, oh wait, I can just move this over. Because I would be happy not to support Twitch. But yeah. So are you happy with? Do you feel like it's worth it, Will?
I haven't actually used it, but yes, I do plan. I just haven't had time to like go in and watch all the cooldowns and stuff yet. But like I do think it's worth it, but I haven't actually like experienced it yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, what's interesting is they they like publish the episodes at the same time on Beacon, so you can watch the live episode on Beacon, but there's no ad break. So like they just published the full VOD. So like people could fast forward to the end, and I don't like that. Not that
Interesting.
this is really the community where people are going to be like toxically trying to spoil things for other people, but
Not our
I just
community.
don't like that that possibility exists.
Yeah, not our community, but I think there was absolutely toxic people in the CR community that
Oh,
would
right.
that would do that. Barb,
Like
just
somebody will. This is just an example. Again, I haven't seen the full episode, but like when Sam comes back, like I'm sure somebody's gonna have like fast forward and be like, "Sam's back this episode" or
yeah,
something, you know.
yeah, for sure.
Anyway,
Barb, we'll save it for the deep dive, but what you just mentioned, that line from Imogen, I felt the exact same way. It wrecked me. It was such a it was a hard moment. Barb also asked, kiss, marry, kill, Autohan, Ludinus, and Liliana.
wait, sorry, say again. Who were the three?
Autohan, Ludinus, and Liliana. Kiss, marry, kill. I think you gotta marry Liliana. Like,
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
this is like, you know, the least crazy of the three, right?
Yeah,
So,
I agree. She's just a little misguided.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
I can fix her.
It's like, yeah, it's like 3 episodes later, she like butchers like much of the Ashari. We're like, ooh,
Honey, not again.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree. And then so probably kill Ludinus.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't, you know, we've seen Odahan be more brutal, but I got to assume he's way worse.
I paused because I had this like moment, like push the red button in the moment of like, which one would probably murder me is like more likely, and probably Ludinus. So yeah, so I'd probably kiss Odahan, kill Ludinus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah,
same.
Rocco. Same.
Yeah, Rocco.
And then our last question from Larissa. If someone made a tailor-made video game that was perfect for you, oh man, what kind of game would it be?
Just what kind of game?
Yeah. Well, she may not mean exactly like, is it an ARPG? Is it a MMO? Right. But
I think it would be some sort of open world, like a big open world. If something like Elden Ring, but like more multiplayer, which Elden Ring is multiplayer, but I also love like the MMO aspect, but nothing's been able to like really capture me the same way that like original WoW did 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But so like something, maybe even like if we're getting crazy, like, and we're talking like 20 years from now, and I got like fully immersive VR where like I feel like I'm the one exploring that world, that would be amazing. But if we're going more genre, then yeah, like open world, story driven. But then, you know, with friends is always a nice little add on too.
You start tuning into the stream as your avatar. What does even Will look like anymore? I would honestly, this is probably a silly answer or a cheap answer. My first thought was God of War, the remake God of War, open world, collectibles, compelling story, a very satisfying story. And like, as I finished the game, I literally just like sat back and was just like, wow, a beautiful story. So I think for me, the story has to be there and it has to resonate with me. I think around the time, maybe I had my daughter was born, my first kid, or maybe my wife was pregnant. I can't remember. And the role of the father is like a central theme to that game. Yeah,
it's crazy how certain games just come at like the right time in your life.
That's right.
Which I'm sure that's less of like, it's more of like your own perception creating that rather than like, you know, being a cosmic coincidence type of thing. But yeah,
I think it's okay for it to be both. Not that you're saying it's not okay, obviously, but I think that's kind of the beauty of these creative things is, and I say that like as a big umbrella, like Calamity was like transformative for me. Like I will probably forever think of it as like the peak of like a creative story. And I think that was part of where I was personally, but also, that cast just being
Yeah.
incredible. So anyway,
Incredible.
incredible. Hell yes. Hell yeah. All right. Well, hey, let's let Will get on the road. We've gone a little bit over today. Thank you all
No worries.
for tuning in early today. And Will, have a safe trip. And
Thank you, my friend.
we will see you all soon. Do you want to add anything?
No, I felt like there was something rattling around, but it evaporated, I guess.
It looked like you were about to jump in, so I was like, "You got anything?" And you're like, "Nope."
Yeah, I felt like
All
I think I did
right.
have,
No, yeah.
something was there, but
Yeah.
the universe took it away.
Yeah, I'm with you, brother. All right,
Yeah.
man.
Anyways, y'all, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Have a great weekend.